This is a tweet from Logan Hall. Logan Clark Hall. He's the digital at the newfounding.org and used to be at the Daily Caller. He said, seems like Biden's speech equating conservatives with terrorists worked as intended. September 24th, elderly pro-life volunteer in Michigan shot after heated conversation, pro-life group says. The elderly Michigan woman was going door to door discussing a ballot proposal on abortion. Then we have Pennsylvania pro-life activist arrested by FBI, charged with assaulting a clinic escort. Prosecutors say Mark Houck twice assaulted a man outside a Planned Parenthood clinic on the same day last year. It's overtly partisan. Then, of course, we have Kayler Ellingson's alleged killer not under house arrest, no curfew after posting very low bond. Former assistant U.S. attorney says the very low bond is woefully inadequate. Not only that, but I was reading that the guy who killed that's the 18-year-old kid who was killed, and the guy said he was a Republican extremist. I read that in his bail hearing, he was shocked that the courts were holding it against him. Like, apparently he assumed they'd congratulate him or something, or be like,
for having killed the kid.
Yes,
for having killed an 18-year-old.
Like, so one of the articles I read said he expressed shock at that he would be held accountable for killing this 18-year-old kid.
That's one way to try and defend yourself.
So
that's wild.
Pro-lifer being shot. Yeah, it really does sound like it works.
At face value, it does. But I want to see, like, when they say heated conversation, like, was the guy like, come on, like, how heated? What was he screaming at the dude that shot him?
No.
I don't know who yelled.
I think you're talking about the 18-year-old that got killed.
Well, the story on the left.
The story on the left
was an elderly pro-life
84-year-old woman
shot
right.
at a heated conversation.
Yes,
like,
elderly.
What's this heated? Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen some nasty old
come
people.
on, dude.
I don't know about
She
you.
was 84.
Oh my
An
goodness.
84-year-old woman being like, stop killing babies, and you're like, all right, she's got to go. Like, that's.
But I mean, you have the right to free speech, but you also, there's consequences to getting in people's face. So
yeah, but
what's the story?
You shouldn't shoot old ladies, I think, as a general rule in society, right?
I want to see more.
It was
you're right.
Okay, but she was an unarmed old lady knocking on doors. Like, you don't have to answer the door. People knock on my door. I don't ever answer my door, ever.
I would love to go deeper into that story, to be honest, the heated conversation. Because, man, the news just does spin stuff.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so here's the story from Yahoo.
Results are changing quickly.
It says an elderly pro-life volunteer in Michigan was shot in the shoulder while canvassing a neighborhood to discuss an abortion ballot proposal, according to the Right to Life in Michigan. The victim said she was shot in the back/shoulder while leaving a residence during a heated conversation, and that the man who shot her was not part of the conversation. The unidentified woman is 83 years old, according to police, though the Right to Life of Michigan identified her as 84 years old in a press release. The woman was canvassing a neighborhood in Lake Odessa to discuss the state's vote on Proposal 3, which would protect abortion access in the state. The state will vote on the proposal November 8th. The victim does not know the identity or motive of the shooter. For shooter, the victim is still recovering from her gunshot wound and wishes to remain anonymous while the criminal investigation proceeds. Now, this is just according to Right to Life, so I think if she wants to have a bigger political impact, she needs to come forward and explain what happened, and we need to be able to get to investigate this.
Well, if she was shot in the back, I mean, that clearly shows that she wasn't aggressing or moving toward somebody, since the bullet hole is there. So that pretty much says it all. Like, what kind of coward shoots an old lady in the back?
I don't know.
Old lady,
someone that wasn't even involved in the conversation.
Yeah, what the
Exactly.
heck?
That's bizarre.
Yeah, did you see the video? There was another video where a woman is going door to door, and then the lady starts screaming at her and chases her off the property.
I haven't seen that one.
I just got to say, like, to Scott Adams, when he tweeted that Republicans would be hunted, everyone kind of rolled their eyes and they were like, whoa, a little over the top there, Scott. And then we actually saw people get shot and killed,
right,
beaten up, chased. And then we were
run
like,
down with a car.
And now more recently run down with a car. And we're like, yeah, actually, it may have seemed a little bombastic, but it is starting to happen. Now for Scott to come out and be like, neighbors aren't attacking each other. And I'm like, yo, this old lady just got shot in the back.
Do you guys think
it kind of is happening?
Or canvassing and having political discussions with people.
Do you think that hate is ever good?
Hate? No.
Yes.
No,
I don't think hate is ever.
What do you mean?
I don't think hate is a good thing.
I hate rabid dogs. I mean, like...
Right, but what's the use of hating them? Why is that better than not just...
Like any emotion, it serves a purpose.
Yeah, but like what... Okay.
I think the idea is like irrational hate is bad.
Right.
But hate from a logical place... Like, there
but it's
are
such an
reasons
extreme emotion. Like, what's the use of it?
to keep you safe. So, for example, like, why do we feel sick looking at like a dead animal? Because we have a natural response to that, to feel sick and want to be away from it and vomit. Why? Because it's got disease and infection and things like that. And so the humans that were not disgusted by it may have eaten it and been contaminated and died. And those who were disgusted by it and vomited So the vomiting is clear. I mean, I'm not an evolutionary biologist, but
this is more of a disgust thing than a hate thing.
Right. The point of hate is like there could be a certain thing being done by name creature.
Rabid dog's a good one. Attacking a family member.
Like there might be someone who's like, I just hate these wild hogs.
I need my AR-15.
But think about it. Back in the day, you'd see a wild hog and you'd get angry, and then you'd stop it before it destroyed your crops or harmed your family.
You could just be logical about it too. Like I don't think you're extra better
emotions
served
aren't
by
logic.
Hate.
Human emotion, comes from this place of of survival.
That's
So
why I
we
wonder.
love things that help us and protect us and make us feel good, and we hate things that hurt us and cause harm.
If you
to
had
our
like
family.
a rabid dog that was threatening your family and about to kill them, you could logically destroy the rabid dog without any emotional attachment because it's the right thing to do. Starting to feel like hate towards it feels like it's taking over.
I'll give you a better example. A guy and his daughter out in the backyard and they're playing with a frisbee when a rabid dog runs up and bites her neck, severing her carotid, and she bleeds out in 20 seconds. He then says, I hate that dog.
Right.
And he starts a whole revenge plot where he goes and buys a bunch of guns and he's got a board tracking the dog, and then he hunts it down and he goes, revenge, and puts it down. That hatred he felt saved another child from being killed by that rabid dog. That's the point.
Yeah, there's like movies about like some not Jason Bourne. It was that Keanu Reeves movie where someone kills his dog and then he goes on a revenge. John Wick.
John Wick.
And it's like glorifying hate. Is it?
A little different.
Was he feeling hate? He was feeling hate towards the people that killed his dog.
And it's a little more extreme, but it is a good point that those were really bad people who broke into his house, beat him, and killed the dog.
It's like
vengeance. He went extreme with it. Like,
no, they killed this dog. Like, come on. Like,
I mean, like,
well,
dude,
do you think it's reasonable
4 movies
to
now of him killing dozens of people over
his dog? Do you think that it's reasonable to hate someone who disagrees with you over a political matter? Like, is that something that is a worthwhile undertaking? Hate in that regard?
What do you mean by worthwhile undertaking?
Well,
I think hate is totally fine. I think you just don't want to attack people and you want to be reasonable. Like, you're allowed to hate people. Hate is a fine emotion, but you should be rational about it and you shouldn't act out upon it. So you can be like, yo, I just really hate people who throw litter out of their cars and don't care and are polluting everything. Like, I genuinely despise that.
Yeah, I hate that
I'm not
too.
going to attack the person.
You hate the action.
Exactly. No, people who gloat and laugh as they throw waste.
Do you
in the
see people
streets.
gloating and laughing? I see people actually, you know what I really hate, actually, I will use the term, is parents will show their kids to throw trash on the street in Brooklyn. And that really makes my blood boil.
My point is, like, there are things that we universally despise. Like a serial killer who gloats about murdering. Like, I hate that person. Like, I genuinely despise people who want to victimize. I don't like violent, you see that video of the guy in the convenience store?
Which
and
one?
The store clerk is on his knees. And the guy walks up behind him and the store clerk's like giving whatever he wants, and then the dude just kills him anyway. I genuinely hate that guy.
Yeah.
What that means is I think about what he did, I think about what he believes in and who he is, and I hate everything about what brought him to that point and that guy right now. Hate him. So you gotta be reasonable about it. What we don't want is irrational hatred where you just hate someone because of the way they look.
But
That's
is hate
stupid.
rational? I don't think hate's rational.
It literally
it's
is.
an emotional discharge.
Okay, so this guy literally shot and killed the dude on his knees who was cooperating.
So if you were like a
hate him.
military commander, you'd be like, we need to execute the threat, but you're not
No,
like,
no,
I'm
don't
enraged, because
change
then
the
you
subject.
can't control their...
Don't change the subject.
Well, if you're really...
A guy walked into a store...
If you're lucidly handling
and
it.
A guy walked into a store and aggressed upon another person who complied and killed him for no reason. Yes, I hate that person.
But like...
And the response should be, we need to stop them. With that hatred and that anger that I feel, it is... What is the appropriate way to stop a person like this? And how do we prevent it from happening in the future? That hatred is what leads us to stopping the thing from happening.
You can do it without hate, too. Vengeance is very dangerous because when someone becomes emotionally charged...
We're not talking about the same thing.
We're talking about emotionally charged response.
Vengeance is not the same thing. We're not talking about the same thing.
Hateful response is a form of revenge. You're talking
I don't
about
want revenge on the guy. I want him to be stopped.
Yeah, that I
This might be a definitional issue.
Maybe.
Yeah, semantics.
I think hate...
I think that's
Hate's fine.
Yeah.
Hate's an emotion. Hate's fine. You're allowed to feel emotions. Emotions serve a purpose, and they're part of the human experience.
Yeah, but emotional leaders are dangerous.
Like,
Emotional leaders.
I hate wasps. Like, I actually
Like
hate
those people from New England, the
No.
white people with they
No.
stir the chin with
them. No,
their
the
fingers.
stinging venomous insects.
Okay.
They
the other
they
kind.
don't make honey. Like, what are they even doing?
I don't know what wasps are good for
now,
either. I
there
had
are
one
some
chasing
wasps,
me yesterday in
there are
some barn.
wasps.
It freaked me out.
Some wasps kill other bugs, and I'm fine with that. Like stink bugs. The reason we have stink bug problem now in the East Coast is because they're native to China, and there's a wasp in China that hunts them in the air and
So
just kills them in the air.
We don't need to
We
bring
need that
those.
wasp,
no,
don't we?
no,
No.
They're big.
we
too.
don't need those.
Okay.
Ooh, we got a lot of stink
Yeah,
bugs.
look, the stink bugs
We
are at least
don't need
stink bugs are at least cute.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
they're doofy and they like walk around and they clap for you. You ever see the stink bugs clap? Stink bugs?
No, but I saw a spider cricket yesterday, and that freaked
We
me out.
got a bunch of those.
What
Oh
the?
my gosh.
Oh, did not
Spider
like
cricket?
it. It was
Yeah,
a
they're
spider
all over.
cricket.
There's like 7,000 in the skate park.
Nice.
I was
Yeah.
reaching into a bucket to get some goat food, and there was a spider cricket.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So listen, why do I hate wasps? Because they don't do anything good for me. They build nests, they attack people, they swarm, and when they sting you, you go to the hospital.
Yeah, it's bad.
So like I have a very negative emotional reaction to them, and when I see them I'm like, I must remove that wasp's nest. They can build anywhere off my front porch, but now they're building on my front porch. So we have to get wasp spray, it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's
come
a
on,
whole.
dude.
That's a whole.
But that's
thing.
not hate. That's not real hate.
There was
What
a
do you mean,
mouse
like
in my
hatred?
kitchen the other day. I kind of hated it, but it was also sort of cute. But I still hated it.
People have pets as mouse.
Yeah, but I don't need a feral mouse as a pet living in my kitchen. It was unpleasant.
I guess maybe we're just talking about different definitions of the word hate. Because like,
I think you and I are
wanting to
talking about
eradicate
a
an insect
similar.
infestation,
Which is why I
Yeah.
said hate is fine, but irrational hate is,
Yeah.
is
Irrational.
not.
Well, so
and
we're-
acting out in a negative way because of hatred is also look. You feel
So you
emotions.
have these-
Humans feel
right.
emotions. You're allowed to feel them. They're all good.
So
They're
you
all-
have
they're
this
all part of the
Michigan
experience.
guy is doing irrational hate, just like the North Dakota guy, irrational hate.
No.
You don't think these guys
the
are-
actions are the problem, not the emotion. You can feel however you.
Do you
feel.
think this guy had irrational hate? This Michigan old lady shooter,
Yes,
irrational.
but the problem isn't just that he's irrational and hatred. The problem is that he shot someone. Like if you're outside and you're going, "Ooh, I'm just so full of hate," I'd be like, "Well, you know."
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, some people.
Have a good
that's
time.
Just,
Sure.
That's it. I mean,
Maybe that's your baseline.
look, it's part of the human experience to feel ways about things. Like if we were just like, we shouldn't feel hate. Hate is bad. Let's just be logical beings. It's like, okay, come on. You know, like we experience life in a variety of ways, and some people are more hateful than others. But I think hate, love, fear, all these things, we chase fear. Is fear bad? People jump off buildings on purpose because you get that adrenaline rush, that fear, and then you survive it. Yeah,
Wait, you
but
can
it's also-
survive
but
jumping
it-
off a building? Who does that?
Are you joking?
Surviving jumping off buildings?
Uh-huh.
Oh, like if you rappel off buildings?
Like base jumping,
Oh yeah, I hate that.
bungee jumping.
Not into it.
But anyway, I think it's also important to note here that people can't control their emotions more and more. A lot of people's nervous systems are fried. Doctors are being told by medical boards to ask everyone if they have anxiety. I think there also is not only a mental health crisis, but a physical health crisis that is leading to a lot of the insanity that we're dealing with the consequences of in the streets in New York City and San Francisco. That truly is a way bigger problem, very much complex, and I think it all boils down to a lot of food being poisoned, a lot of individuals not having a good mental health and not controlling their emotions, and then lashing out and acting crazy, which we're seeing more and more of on big tech social media. And whether we're seeing it deliberately because social media wants to show it to us specifically, or whether it's really happening, I think it still deserves to be talked about from a fair perspective, because there are a lot of people struggling out there that do need help.
I had
I want to jump to this next story, unless you wanted to wrap up.
Well,
something.
yeah, like on Friday we had a show with Nick Palmachano was on the show, and it was I had a hard time with it. I felt like I was going to puke for a lot of it because you and him were going deep, and you guys were really going at each other about Civil War and why not and why is, why not, why maybe, why no, and so I was like just in a nasty mood this weekend. Like that energy, I carried it. I was stressed out. Like, what are we doing? Are we propagating this thing without realizing it? And then I heard about the storm called Ian coming, and part of me was like, fine, let the storm. Let the storm land.
come.
And I'm like, what am I doing? What have I become? Am I like becoming the evil that I hate? And so I had to change my emotions. I disengaged from the machine, meaning my computer. I cleared my mind and just thought about dissipating the clouds, and had to like re-navigate my own emotions, which I do believe is possible, which is why I think if you feel hate, you could change it.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.